lot of you get up in the morning and you physically stretch. Right? Some of you go to a yoga class to stretch, or you go to the gym before you start work and you stretch and then you work out. How about mentally or emotionally stretching? Right? Now, so what does it mean to emotionally stretch? Well, all it is, and it could be done in 5 minutes, is you allow yourself as you sit there with your cup of coffee or whatever you're doing, and allow yourself to feel all different kinds of emotions. You can provoke these different emotions like an actor does. An actor can go into a role quickly because they've practiced connecting with different emotions on a constant basis, so they can cry on a dime and laugh immediately on a cue. And they do it for their roles. Now imagine just doing it for yourself. So you would let yourself feel some sadness for a little while. You can start with the more difficult emotions, and then with the more uplifting emotions that you would consider uplifting, like love and happiness or what have you. And so you can write down some of these emotions and then feel them. That's it, just feel them. And what that does is it stretches your emotional body, so that then as your day goes along, if you're hit with an unexpected emotion, you've already stretched yourself and can receive it. You can manage it more, you become more flexible. Now imagine doing this constantly, how flexible you would be as emotions came at you. And then you wouldn't be so inclined to repress or push away certain emotions, because you can handle it. If I kept throwing a ball at you in different ways, and you learn to catch it no matter where I threw it, because we would practice this over and over again to become flexible, your reflexes would become faster. If we did this, the same, you would be better at your sport. The same works with your emotions. If someone else was doing it with you, okay, sadness, now this, now anger, now grief, now happiness, now joy, and you let yourself feel it, well, then as it came at you during the day, you'd be that much faster. Your emotional reflexes would respond faster. Now you can see in people, they have lag time in emotional response. Some things hit a person later. Some people are so emotionally inflexible that someone can die and it won't be till a month later they finally feel it, right? Because they have not allowed themselves to continuously feel different kinds of emotions. And when you have to deal with something so profound as the grief of a loss, the death of someone, well, now you are able to manage it more if you've been practicing and stretching every morning emotionally. And you would not even be as scared of it, or you might surprise yourself of how easy you can manage it. And your confidence with your emotional body and your emotional response would increase, because you've practiced it and you're able to feel this more. And you've expanded yourself to receive more of it, so it won't be overwhelming. So imagine a flow, if you can measure the amount of emotional energy that comes at you if someone is angry at you. Now imagine that you had stretched, and so what they're throwing at you only fills half of your stretch, whereas normally it would overflow you because you are so tight, right? You would of course have a different experience entirely. If you came from another planet, right? Because again, by not stretching, we cause ourselves to start repressing and diminishing and pushing away certain kinds of emotions and only holding on to other ones, right? We limit our experience of a full life. Because if you came from another planet and you never understood or had a human experience, and let's say you've never felt any human feeling of any kind, physical, mental, or emotional, and I took you to an action-packed, a big production like a Spielberg movie or an Abrams movie or something that just has you laughing, crying, has sex in it, has action, has adventure, has it all, and you came from another planet and never experienced any of these emotions, it would be a dead experience for you. But if, let's say the next day I took this alien, being you, to another viewing of this same movie, and I gave you the ability to feel half of all human emotions, physical, mental, and emotional. Physical, like touch, pinch. Mental, like excitement, right, or anxiety. emotional, like love or grief or sadness, if I gave you half of all the ability to experience those emotions, human emotions, you'd have a larger experience. You might even be overwhelmed. But you'd have at least half of it more of an experience. Now, if I, on top of that, gave you the next day the same viewing and provided you with the ability to experience all human emotions, what do you think the experience would be like?
Traumatic.
Well, it might be overwhelming and traumatic. Now remember, we warmed you up by giving you half the day before. But what you would actually have is, of course you'd say traumatic because you guys are so emotionally tight. You'd have the whole human experience. You'd feel so full. It'd be the full experience. And you wouldn't be differentiating, just like you don't during a movie. You're much more flexible when you guys watch movies. When it's time to cry, you cry. When it's time to laugh, you laugh. And you don't linger to the crying, you move right on to the laughing, but you can't do this in your lives. And watching movies is an example of how to do it, right? So, if you were able to not filter and just allow yourself to have the full experience of all human emotions, you would have a fuller life. So, emotional stretching is key to this, to give you that ability to take in more, hence to experience more, hence to have a fuller life.